Maxent, what is poetry?
Poetry is words perfectly knitted like cotton on a thick jersey. Poetry is life birthed in word flavors that don't take away but give more meanings to one.
Hello, everybody. It's a good afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon session. Just for me to be sure that you can hear me, please give me some comment. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be more than happy to hear from you. I'm going to be joined soon by a financial mutant, Munyumba Mtwale, a friend of mine who's going to join me in, tackling this great Q&A. So people, give me some comments. Let me know if you can hear me. That would be fantastic. It's always nice to know if you can hear me. And also just tell me, let me know where you are watching me from. I think it's always important to know. Yesterday we had, Pakistan, we had South Africa, Nigeria, Botswana. We had all those different places, Solwezi, Mongo, Lusaka. So it's good to know who is on and who is not on. So there you go. We have Smozy Adams Ngala. We are together. Fantastic. It's good to have you, people. It's good to have you. Please share this video, share the live, and invite as many friends as you possibly can as we get into this great session of a Q&A. So we are answering a few questions today, and I'll be taking in more questions from you. Hi, Chongo. It's good to have you. It's good to have you, Chongo. Fantastic. Chongo Lombe, it's good to have you. Very good. It's good to see you. I have Elvis. Elvis, good to see you. How are you, Elvis? Please tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be happy to know. It says loud and clear. Thank you so much. You're so kind. It's good to know that I'm loud and clear. Louis, it's good to have you. Where are you watching me from? People, give me a comment. Louis is watching us from Kafue. Fantastic. That's amazing. So we have Kafue in the building. Great. So guys, give me some comments. Please share this video. Let's leave no one behind. Remember, people, to like, react, comment, and share the video. Please, I need those likes so that we can. That's how you support our work, by giving us those likes, comments, and reactions. I'll be very grateful if you can like right now. Let me see some likes, people, and some sharing and some. I'll be very happy to know that, to see those. Please support our work. Thank you very much. So I'll be taking in questions. And I'll be joined soon by Munyumba. As I've always stated, Munyumba is a financial mutant and will be tackling many of the questions. So today we have a very important question to start with. Somebody sent in a question, and this says, I have, of course, they told me how much they have, the amount of money they have. So I decided not to, bring the amount of money, but just to say, I have X amount of capital. What business can I start? People, tell me, how many times do you meet people and they tell you how much money they have and what business they can start? It's amazing that people have got the money and they ask you how much, what business they can start. Almost every single time we see that. So I'm more than grateful and happy to bring you this great session of what we can do and what business you can invest into. So guys, let's get started. Let's get into the business. So the question that we are answering today is, I have X amount of capital. What business can I start? Okay. Of course, thank you guys. I see this is Rwanda. It's good to have you from Rwanda, all the way from Rwanda. Fantastic. It's good to have you. All right, people, please give me those likes. I need those likes and those comments. All right, great. Okay, I followed your sessions the day before yesterday, and you talked about real estate investment trust. How does one go about it? Okay, fantastic. We'll answer these questions as we go. Okay, great. So let's begin with this question. This question is coming, of course, from Mwanza. Mwanza is from Solwezi, and it says, I have so and so amount of capital. What business can I start? Actually, Mwanza has about 34,000 kwacha and is asking, what business can I start? So I said, okay, since Mwanza has a 34,000 kwacha and is asking what business he can start. So the best that we can do is to use Mwanza's question as a case study for all other people may have the same question. Those who are saying, I have so much amount of money. I have X amount of money. What business can I really start? All right. So it's very important and crucial that we may be able to use some of these as case studies. So let's get started. Now, I want to tell you a few things about starting a business. Okay, before I go right into the point and just mention it right away, I want to tell you just a few things about starting a business. Like I said yesterday, and in several other sessions, a lot of people they confuse starting a business because you have the money. That's not how it works. If you have a certain amount of money and you want to start a business because you have capital, it will not work. You may end up losing that investment. And I say this with all strength because starting a business, first of all, does not need you to have an X amount of capital. And that's in the first place. And let me qualify this, okay? Let me qualify this before I get into details of how we're going to answer that question. Let me qualify this. If starting a business and succeeding was based on capital, all of us could be billionaires today. Tell me if you agree with me. I want you to follow me very closely. I'm not saying capital is not important, but I want to point to you that there are other things that are more important than capital. Okay. So if somebody comes to me, like Mwansa said, he has 34,000, what business can I start? First of all, I'm saying, hold on. I'm not going to tell you the business to start. First of all, I want to deal with you as a person. What kind of a person are you? All right. What makes you happy? Tell me the things that you like. What are you good at? I'm getting this information because I want to understand the person who wants to get into the business. All right. It's not all the time that when you have the money, you have to start a business. Some people are not business people. Some people are investors. You don't have to be a businessman. You can simply be an investor. And I want to explain that one to you so that you can understand it. Where do you fall? All right. A lot of people tell me this when they come for my session. They say, "What? I want to take a risk." A lot of people in the world, they think entrepreneurship is about taking risks. No. If somebody told you being an entrepreneur is taking up the risk, they lied. It's not true. Entrepreneurs don't take risks. They don't. What entrepreneurs do, they manage the risks. They have become so good with managing the risks. Entrepreneurs, we are able to deal with uncertainties. What makes you go to sleep at night and get your money and you put into this venture is because you are comfortable with being uncomfortable. All right? You're not taking risks. Nobody wants to lose money. All right? So entrepreneurs don't take risks, people. They are comfortable with being uncomfortable. They are okay with the uncertainties that come with doing a business. All right? And when we say they take risks, we are confusing the whole idea. It will make it look scary, like you have to take these risks, a lot of risks, and then once you take these risks, you're going to struggle. No, it's not about that. To be an entrepreneur, you have to know how to reduce the risk, not taking the risk. All right. So somebody who has the money, they want to start a business. I always ask them and say, where did you get that money? So now let's use this guy as a case study. Let me bring of course, my board so that I can write things on the board like we always do. And then we answer this question from Mwansa of Solwezi. He has 34,000 and is asking me what business can he start. All right, so let's get into it. Let me just connect my my interface for us to write on this board, and that will be quite fantastic. All right, great. So guys, please share the video. Please share the video. Okay, there we're back. Good. So I want to share my screen first with you here so that we can talk from here. This is going to be fantastic. Okay, we need to discuss this from here. Okay, great. So guys, give me a comment if you can see my screen, please let me just know if you can see my screen. I'll be more than happy to know that you can see my screen. Please give me a comment. Can you see my screen? Give me a comment if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. I'll just take a second just to see some comments. If you can see my screen. Okay. Okay, great. All right, so you can give me a comment if you can see my screen. I'm unable to see. I'm not using my usual interface, but I can't see myself. But if you can see, I'll be happy to know. Oh, able to see, great, fantastic. So let's get into it. So we have all right. Okay. Okay. Okay, I have a challenge here. My screen is not very much. I don't know if it's visible to you, but you're saying you can see it. Let me just continue writing. I'm not sure you can see what I'm writing, people. I apologize for that. Okay. Okay, great. So, okay, great. So let's see. Okay, you can still see. Okay, great. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so this is Mwansa. Okay. So Mwansa says this. Mwansa says he has 34,000 kwacha. All right. And he says, what business can I start? Okay. Yeah. Great. So there are a few bits and pieces I want to first address to Mwansa, right? So Mwansa, that 34,000 kwacha, first of all, I want you to tell me, where did you get it from? This is the question that we often overlook to answer. Because once we have the capital, all we think about is, okay, I have this capital, I have this money. Okay, what business can I start? That's all we think about. What business can I start? So the question that I want you to ask yourself, if you're in Mwansa's position, is, first of all, where did you get this 34,000 from? That's the question I want you to be able to answer. Where did you get this amount of money from? That's the question I want you to answer. That's the starting point, because sometimes if you have something, Mwansa, that is giving you 34,000, all right, that means that thing is a good thing. There are very few things you can do today that can give you 34,000. So if you have something that is giving you 34,000, possibly you may want to do this thing that you are giving 34,000, because you've been able to prove that from this thing that you are doing now, you've been able to raise 34,000. That means you can still raise more. So the question I have is this: this thing that gave you 34,000, is it a one-off thing, or is it something that you can be done again? All right. Because most of us, when we think of a business, want something comfortable, something that we like, because we are scared of what people are going to think about us. All right. So the question I have for you: where did you get this 34,000 from? That's the first step. All right. Where did it come from? So ask yourself the question: where did it come from? You have to understand, will it come back again? Okay, guys, I want you to stay with me. Where did you get this 34,000 from? Will it come back again? All right. If it comes back again, what will be the frequency? All right. How long does it take for you to get this at 4,000 if you do the same thing you did again? Those are very important questions, because sometimes you find that somebody was able to do some piecework somewhere. They were able to do some laundry. They're able to to mow the lawn and stuff like that. But they don't want that job because it's a bit scruffy, it's dirty. They want something clean, something to make them feel better about themselves, something to make other people feel, look at them as though they're happening. So they end up neglecting a job that looks to be dirty and mean for something that is clean and fantastic, but does not pay them as much as that dirty dongolistic job they don't want to do. So the question I want you to answer is: be honest. Where did you get this job? This 34,000 kwacha. If it is coming from your job, that's a different that's a different issue. All right. But if it's something that you did, it could be a piecework that you did, it could be a job that you did, it could be something that you sold. All right. Is it something that can be sold again? Is it something that you can look a client to buy again? All right. Is it something that is available where you can go and order and sell more of those things that you're currently doing? Because we don't want to simply rush out of what is giving us money for what could be possible. All right. So somebody give me a comment. Do not leave what is working for what is possible. That's very important. A lot of us in business, we leave what is working for what could be possible. And that's a big mistake. It's like somebody has a job. They get a graduate of 100,000. They quit the job. No. Your job is currently working. It is paying your bills. Don't leave what is working for what could be possible. First of all, use your job. Build your business. Once your business grows so much that now being at your job is a sheer waste of time, now you can quit your job because now you have money coming in. So it's the same thing with these small things we do. All right. It could be you painted someone's house. It could be you put someone else's towels. It could be you clean someone's yard, someone's field, and they gave you this money. Are you able to advertise so that you can do more of this kind of work because it has proven that it can pay you well? That's the first step that I want you to think about. Okay. So you have that 4,000 kwacha Mwanza. What did you do? So think about those ideas I've given you. Now, provided that it is something that can be done again, it is something that can be, you can look a client for, it is something you can market yourself for, something you can advertise, or maybe something you can learn how to perfect it. Go and learn how to perfect it. Because being successful in a business is not about capital. Succeeding in business has nothing to do with having capital. No, that's not the point. A lot of people think that when you have a good amount of capital, you're going to succeed. It's not true. All right. For you to succeed in business, here's what you need. You need skills. That's what I'm saying. You have this 34,000 kwacha Mwanza. What skills do you have? And from those skills you have, which one gave you the 4,000? Because that could be a very good skill. All right. Why am I saying skills? Capital does not grow your business. Look at me. All right. When I was building my skills in providing courses, in lecturing, in doing events, in speaking at events, becoming a facilitator, brand ambassador, I was building my skills in public appearance, public relations, all those things I was building. It took me time to reach a point where I'm charging somebody 10,000 kwacha for 1 hour. If I go the whole day, if I was hired by a company in Congo, I was charging them 30,000 kwacha. They were paying me 30,000 kwacha for 4 hours. I was working with some company in Congo last year. All right. So it took a lot of time for me to develop those skills. All right. So when you begin to focus on dropping a skill, doing a business becomes easier because now I can stand in front of you. I can tell you about some government bonds, some stocks, some investments. I can analyze, I can evaluate, I can forecast. I did not learn all those things overnight. I did not just wake up one day and said, I have 100,000. What can I do with it? What business can I start? No. First of all, I developed the skills that will support me to grow my business. That when that money lands into my hands, I have a skill set that will help me build. Today, if you give me 1 million kwacha, I know exactly how to spend it because I have the capability and the capacity to spend 1 million kwacha today. All right. What makes you once ask me that what business can I start with 34,000? Yes, this is the truth. And I'm not picking on you. I'm just being honest as your advisor. Why you're asking me what business you can start is because you don't have the capacity to spend 34,000. So the first thing we have to do is let's build the capacity to spend that money. Once you have the capacity to spend, all right, then we can say, let's now spend on this business. Because now we have the skills. If you see those people come and put towels, those people who do the drawing, there are some people who are able to do the drawing. Those artists, they get your picture, they draw within a day, they are done. They pick the drawing looks perfect, almost as if it's just was done by a camera. All right. They did not start charging more money when they were starting because they were still perfecting their skill. Now they have become so good that they're able to charge you 5,000 kwacha, 10,000 kwacha for a single drawing. Do you know why? Because now they have the capacity to charge that amount. They're not charging you per picture. They are charging you for the experience they have acquired, for the skill they've built over the years. So before you spend the money, before you think about starting a business, you have the money, please don't make a mistake of going into a business. Say, I have 30,000, I have 34,000. Let me buy fish. Let me do charcoal. No. First of all, look at yourself and say, what skills do I have that are going to support me in this business if I start today? First, that's the very important thing. It's about the skills. It is not even about the ideas. All right. You don't need to have an idea. Forget about ideas. First, build the skills that can support you to run a business. Do you have the negotiation skills? Do you have the marketing skills? Have you learned how to forecast? Do you know how to analyze risk? Have you worked on your emotional intelligence? Work on your skills first. The more you begin to work on your skills, now you're going to learn something. You're going to be saying, okay, I'm going to do more of this, less of that, more of this, less of that. And before you know it, you become so good at something that when you stand in front of people and you charge them, they will be happy to buy from you. They will be happy to be like that artist who draws people. They are starting slowly to know how to draw the nose, how to draw the eyes. They are first perfecting the art, the skill. There will come a time when they will tell you, give me 10,000 kwacha and I'll give you a portrait. You pay them the same that they give a portrait. Why? Because they've perfected the skill. They are not charging you per day or per hour, per picture. They are charging you according to the experience they've acquired, the quality of the work you're going to receive, because they know they have the capacity to deliver at 10,000 kwacha. So you have 34,000 kwacha. You want what business can you do? I'm not going to tell you do this, no, because I'm going to mislead you. First of all, think about what I've said. Where did it come from? What did you do? Can you do it again? That's very important. Is it something you can learn how to do? Can you perfect it? You don't have to really like it. All right? You don't have to really love. Some people say love what you do. That's not the point. Even if I don't love what I do, I am going to do it if it is going to pay my bills. All right? Love does not pay bills. Skills pay bills. Experience pays bills. You can love something all you like. If it's not paying your bills for now, put it in the bin. Focus on what is paying your bills. Perfect it. Build, become so good at it. So that when we tell you, now let's do a chicken business. Let's do farming. Let's enter into farming. Let's do a teaching business. Let's do a content creation business. Let's do a marketing business. You have the necessary skills to help you market. You have those skills. So guys, tell me if you are following. Tell me if that is making sense from your end. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think, people. Give me some comments. Let me know if that is making sense from your end. So that's the first question we are responding to. What business can I start? Guys, give me some comments. Please share, like, react, tag somebody. That is very important for me. I'll be very much happy to learn from you, to hear also your comments. So now you can see we are answering more answer. Don't first start a business. Look at yourself so that you can develop the capacity. Once you have the capacity, you won't be asking these questions that, I have a 34,000. What can I do? No. These questions will not be on your mind because you have the capacity to spend that money. If you find yourself in a position where you have to ask someone, what business can I do with this money? It means you don't have the capacity to spend the money. So you need someone to help you first build the capacity, and then they can now help you assess the available ventures. That's the first step. So for me, when you come to me and say, I have 34,000 quality months has come, I'm not going to say, go and buy fish. No. What if he goes into the fish business and he has no capacity to run that business? He has no skills to run that business. He has no mental fortitude to be able to handle the uncertainty in that business. He's going to lose that money. I've seen people say, I had 50. I saw a comment from one of my TikTok videos. Someone said they were given a 40,000 last year, and then this 40,000, they started a business, and before they know it, the money was lost. How they wished they kept this money in bonds. And I felt bad that somebody lost the money. But the truth is, they started a business where they did not have the capacity to handle the uncertainties that come. Because being an entrepreneur is not taking risks. Being an entrepreneur means being able to reduce the risk, not taking the risk. We don't take risks. We manage the risks. We reduce it to acceptable levels so that we don't lose the money. Nobody loves to take risks. So it's simply a language issue when you say you have to take risks. No, it's just a language. We don't take risks. Do you look at Microsoft? Microsoft, do you think Bill Gates took any risk? He never took any risk in his life and is a billionaire. He put something less than 50,000 US dollars. All right? 50,000 USD. That's what Bill Gates put between the time we started up to today. He invested less than 50,000, but it's worth billions of dollars. Did he take any risk? No. That was a very small amount of money put in that business. But what made him succeed? He had the skills. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Do you think he took a lot of risks to build Facebook? What risks did he take? He never took risks. All right. He developed a skill. All right. He developed a skill. He acquired some knowledge, and then he used his skill to build a business. Look at Elon Musk. Do you think he took a lot of risks? No. He learned a skill, he became an engineer, and he used his skill to benefit himself. Think about a lot of successful people that you're going to think of. It's a skill. Look at Mzasa Mkango from here in Zambia. Do you think that boy took a lot of risks? No. He simply developed a skill, was able to outrun his friends, and he became so good at beating his friends in a race, and that benefited him. So it's not about the capital, it's about the skill. Do you have the necessary skills to run this business? Do you have the mental fortitude? Do you have the capacity to spend 34,000 and be okay with the uncertainty that it's going to come with? Are you able to reduce the risk to acceptable levels? Can you assess? Can you focus? Can you see the future in financial terms? Those are the skills you need before you begin to spend the money. And that's what we do here. We help you to develop those skills that are going to give you the capacity and the confidence to get that 34,000 kwacha and go and spend it, because you know you've minimized the risk. You've focused and you've assessed and you've seen that, yes, it is possible for me to make so much from this amount of money if I spend it on this thing, because here is how it works. You've understood. I have the skills that are required for me to succeed. I can do this. I've trained myself. I've practiced. I've spent sleepless nights. Yes, I went to school. I got this certificate. Yes, I attended the seminar. I acquired this skill. I can sell. I can market. I can do this. Yes, I can manage. It's about skills, people. It's never about the idea. It's never about the capital. Capital and ideas should be secondary. Somebody give me a comment and tell me, capital and ideas are secondary for a successful business. Let me see a comment. Let me see some comments coming in the comment section. Somebody tell me, say, capital and ideas are secondary. Capital and ideas are secondary in a successful business venture. They are secondary. Somebody give me a comment. Capital and ideas are secondary. All right. Capital and business are secondary. They are not primary. You have to have the skills. When ideas come up, can you finance them? Can you implement those skills? So that's the question I wanted to ask to answer you, my dear friend Mwansa. And I hope that that helps. All right. So come through. I'll be happy to sit down with you. Muirwa, thank you so much for that comment. Guys, give me some comments. Tell me capital and skills, capital and ideas are secondary. First of all, build a skill. All right. Fantastic. Great. It's good to have you. So let's answer another question. Okay. That was question number 1. I'll be more than happy if I can add more. So let's assume Mwansa got that 34,000 from gratuity, but he has another running contract. Okay, fantastic. That's a good question. That's from Bwadia. Okay, that's a very good question, people, and it's a very fair question. Let's say, and that's a good one. I like that. Okay. Let's say Mwansa got that money from gratuity. Okay. Now, gratuity, you get it at the end of the contract, then you have another contract. And so that means that money is going to come back again. All right. So this money came from the job. Now, a lot of people, once they have the money, they quit their jobs. They say, I want to go and start a business. That's the biggest mistake. Don't quit your job to start a business. Start a business. When it grows, then you can think of quitting a job. Do you know why? You cannot leave what is working for what is possible. For now, he has a job, and that job gives him some gratuity. All right. That means that money is going to come back again at the end of the year. So now, like we said, Mwansa should not be in a hurry, because now he has a job paying him some money. So what Mwansa needs to do now is to develop the skills. That will help him to have the capacity to spend that 34,000. All right. Because if I simply say, oh, once I got the money from his gratuity, 34,000. All right. He got that money. Mansa, can you go and invest in fish? What if this guy has no interest in selling fish? He's not a salesman. He's not a salesperson. He's going to lose that money. Or if I tell him once, I go and put that money in bonds, I'm also not helping him because it will take a long period of time for him to see significant benefits in bonds. If I say go and buy stocks, I'm misleading him. Real estate, I'm misleading him. All right. The first thing I need to work on with Mwansa is to help him develop skills, is to help him build capacity. All right. Capacity to spend, is to help him to build confidence to invest. All right. Because these are the things that are going to help Mwansa succeed. If you have the skills, you have the capacity, that gives you the confidence to invest. All right. Confidence to invest means you're going to be able to manage what? To manage the risk. Then you can manage the risk. I need to impart these skills in Mwansa. All right. Give him the necessary skills that are going to help him succeed. Build capacity, build confidence. All right. Let him know how to reduce the risk, not to take risks. As a business person, we don't take risks. We manage risks so that we can benefit. Don't make a mistake. All right, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Fantastic. That's a good one. Okay. So another question, guys. Guys, give me some comments. Yeah, fantastic. I like that. Thank you very much. That is so Alabella's mom. Fantastic. Capital and ideas are secondary in a successful business venture. Build a skill first. That's the point, people. That's the point. Okay, great. Thank you very much. It's good to have you. I hope tell me if this is making sense from your end, people. I like to know. Capital and ideas are secondary. Yeah, that's very good. These are secondary. Don't worry about capital. What about improving yourself? Because imagine you find a dunderhead and then you give them 100,000. They will squander it. They have no capacity. They have no skill. All right. So they're just going to drink or to simply impress some boyfriend somewhere or some girlfriend somewhere. They won't use it. So it has never been, people, all right? It has never been about the capital or the ideas. It has always been about the skills. When I started my business, I had zero capital. And this is true. Some people say this because they are bluffing. I'm not bluffing. I didn't even have a laptop the first day I started my business. I never had a laptop, but I had a skill. And that skill gave birth to other businesses. It's always about skills. It's never about capital. It has never been about capital. A lot of people focus more on capital. How can they raise the capital? No, it's never about the capital. It's about the skill. A skill can help you to have capital because somebody may be able to see your skill and be able to invest in it. All right. Okay, so let's see more questions. Let's answer more questions. Now you can give me some questions. I'll be happy to answer more questions. Let's check some comments. Please, guys, share, like, react. That's very important for us here. That's how you support our work. If you're able to react, you're able to share, that will mean a lot to us. Okay. Thank you very much. If you can react, share, that would be fantastic. Okay, let me answer some questions. Any question you may have around investment, bonds, stocks, real estate, planning, retirement, or any question you have in finance, I'll be more than grateful and more than happy to respond to you. Okay, because now I'm taking in questions because it's a Q&A session. I need. Okay, so we have a question from Louis here. And what is Louis saying? Okay. Louis says, what is she saying? Okay. Let's see what Louis is saying. We have a comment from Louis. She says, okay, yeah. Oh, this was the one about real estate. Okay, what exactly do you want to know about real estate? I'll be happy to know the specific question. Okay, what is the specific question? So, guys, is there anybody who has a question for me? That would be fantastic. I'll be happy to respond. Okay, so there we go. So he says, what are some of the factors to consider when deciding between starting a business from scratch or acquiring an existing business? All right, that's very important. And I'm going to use this, okay? I'm going to use, this, to answer that question. A lot of us, even in our homes, we fail to progress because we are not humble enough to say that, you know what, I love you, you are my cousin, or you are my relative, or you are my whatever it is, you're my uncle, my auntie, but at the moment I can't keep you. We we overrate ourselves with responsibilities we can't handle. All right. So there are two things I always ask people to answer me when they want to acquire a business, because you can start a business from the scratch, or you can acquire. All right. Starting from the scratch may take time. All right. But it's a good thing because you're going to learn not just how to do things, but also how not to do things. You're going to learn. All right. It's the longest way to start from the scratch, but it's the most rewarding way because you're going to have knowledge of the business inside out. You're going to know where to touch. You're going to know, for now, for example, I've developed resilience. I know my businesses. I know that this season there's no money and I'm okay with it. I also know the seasons when there's money and I know how to handle that. So before you think about starting from the scratch, again, it takes back to the skills. Do you have the necessary skills to build a business from the scratch? That's very important. It's about skills, people. All right. But again, if you're going to acquire, there are two things you have to answer. If you're going to acquire a business, you're spending money on someone else's business so that it can be your business. All right. That's what it means to acquire. It's like there's a guy who has a business. All right. They make tokens or they make, these bank pouches. So I tell them, okay, fine, I'm going to buy this business so that I can be the one making the bank pouches. I'll give you so much. The question is, what is the demand in the next 5 years for these bank pouches? Have you assessed the demand? So you have to ask yourself a question: is the benefit commensurate with the cost you are incurring on this particular business? Because if you go and buy a business, you acquire a business from somewhere, you don't know the demand. Is it the demand that's going to be there for a foreseeable future? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, how will be the demand? Can you project the demand for these bank pouches? And then can you look at the money you're putting in? Will this money be able to come back to you in 5? So let's do this. Let me bring back the screen to answer this in a better way. Let me do this. This is what we do here. In the business world, there are these things. All right. There's a cycle. Okay. There's something that we call the introduction. There's something that we say, there are 4 stages. There's stage 1. All right. This is where you have where you are building the skills. All right. Stage 1 is about skills. Now here, you're looking at the designs, all right, of something you want to do. You have ideas popping up after you build the skills, all right. You're looking at the prototypes, all right. You're looking at the research, all right, okay. And then we go to step 2 here. This is where you do the launch. You launch something, okay. So now here, you launch something. How would you like to launch like that? This is where you launch something, okay. So you launch something here. This is what we call, the introduction. Okay, this is the introduction of something that you've been working on. You bring it on the market. Now, once you introduce something on the market, you want to work so hard so that this thing can grow. All right. So there's a growth stage. All right. That is now step number 3. This thing has got to grow. All right. Once this thing begins to grow, there's something that we call, maturity. The demand begins to mature. All right. There's maturity. The demand begins to mature. That means a lot of people know about, for example, if you are making, beds using plastics, at the moment you are the only one thinking about that idea. So what you go and acquire some skills, you try to design it this way, you do this way. Finally, you make a bed using plastics. Then you launch it on the market. When you launch it on the market, all right, people have never seen this before. They are more likely to buy from you, for example. They buy from you, it begins to grow. But as it begins to grow, at some point, there will be competition. There will be substitutes. People will come on the market to come and compete with you. All right. So at this stage now, when you're introducing here, we say you use skimming if you want to price. We use skimming, where you charge more money when you're introducing the product because you are the only one. So you can skim. You can get as much as you can to recover initial investments. As you begin to grow here, for you to grow, you need to advertise more. You spend more money on advertisements and stuff like that. When you get to maturity, you begin to do modifications because now there's another guy who is able to make the same product just like you. All right. So people are not so much happy, excited with you All right. So you need to modify like what some supermarkets do and some pizza do. They say, do you want a double decker, triple decker, whatever decker? Do you want extra cheese, extra what? The same product. There's extra cheese, there's something like that. And then after this stage, the other stage is called the decline stage. Now, this is what I want you to understand. I want you to follow me very closely. This is stage number 5, the decline stage. Why is this important? At this point now, no demand. Okay? There's low or zero demand because people now no longer buy from you. It's like BlackBerry now. There's low to zero demand. Now, I want you to understand this very carefully here before you acquire a business. That business you are acquiring, probably they have some products that they make. You have to ask yourself a question. At what stage on this life cycle? Because this is the cycle of a business. Decline here means now you have to withdraw from the market. Withdraw from the market. All right? That's the decline part. You have to withdraw that product from the market. So the question is before you acquire a company, before you acquire a business, at what stage are they? Is this business still at stage 1 here, where they are still struggling with, they have the skills, yes, but maybe they lack the capital. They have the designs, the ideas are there, they have all these prototypes, they've done their research, all right? They've done the market research and stuff like that. Are they at this stage? Because if a business is at this stage, then you're going to ask yourself, what will be, right? All these things are the ones that determine what we call the life expectancy. This is what we call the life cycle of a product or that particular business. All right. So now, if they are somewhere here, you're going to ask yourself, okay, fine, these people are somewhere here. Okay. So if they are here, maybe if I invest in it, how long will it take for this business to grow? You have to estimate growth here. We estimate growth for you so as you know how long will it take for this business to grow. And we also estimate for you how long would it take for competitors to come on board, because nowadays people are following, they are fast followers. Once you invent something, almost everybody's chasing you very closely to you. How long will it take for this product you're making to reach its maturity? And how long do you think it's going to take for it to reach the saturation, the decline stage, where it is everywhere on the market? All right. It's like having a phone that has got buttons. These are now everywhere. No one gets excited. They've saturated. They are everywhere. So even about less than 200 kwacha, you can buy one. 120, 100, 90, 80 kwacha, you can buy a small phone. So the demand has really gone down for those things. Saturated stuff. All right. So understanding the period it will take will now beg the question. If I spend 100,000 acquiring this business, will I get it back in 2 years' time? If the lifespan is 2 years, then we estimate for you to see how much you are likely to make in the first year of operations, second year, third year, or fourth year. That is why financial advice is important, because we help you. We don't say go and take the risk. No, our job as entrepreneurs, as financial advisors, is to minimize the risk. How do we do that? Now we make the focus for you, and then we show you. We say, okay, fine. In 5 years' time, you're going to make 10 million from this business. So if you're going to spend anything in this business, don't spend anything close to 10 million. Don't spend 8 million because of inflation. Any striking mistake, you lose the money. So spend something of this amount so that you can invest. It's very important if you're going to acquire to know this. At what stage is this business I'm acquiring? Because if you buy a business, maybe they are in their maturity stage. Before you know it, demand goes down. You lose the money. Why? Because you never consulted. You never looked at where were they in the life cycle pyramid. Where were they? You never looked at that important question. So also ask yourself, if they are at this stage, for example, stage number 3, if I acquire them, will the cost that I'm going to incur, will it commensurate the benefit? Will it be equal to the benefits I'm going to receive from this particular investment? Extremely, extremely important. Guys, give me some likes, people. Give me some comments. Give me some motivation, people. Somebody like, comment, react, share. Give me some motivation, guys, okay? Somebody give me some. Tell me how you are finding this information. Tell me if we're answering our brother a question in a very good manner. Tell me. Somebody give me a comment, please. Give me a comment. Give me some like, share, react. That's how you support our work. Thank you so much. So now look at that, guys. So what we have here, we have to assess the benefit versus the cost. If you said the cost is more than the benefit, even if they're at this stage, then you can go ahead. But if you say that the cost and the benefit are they're not matching, then leave it. That's very important. So sometimes it's good to acquire a business. Sometimes it's better to build one yourself. So it depends on what stage are you. Because again, the same approach can be used when building your own from the scratch. How much startup capital do you need? Now, the beauty about acquiring a business is that they've already done everything for you. They've done the research, they have the designs, they have everything. They even have the manpower, the experience, the expertise. So you, when you go there, you don't have to do what? To start afresh. You are starting from a point of what? Establishment. That gives you some breathing space. You avoid some mistakes that come when you're starting up something on your own. So there are some good sides and there are some bad sides. So I wouldn't really say here is the better side, but I've given you something you can try and use to assess whether you should acquire this business or not. And then also ask yourself a question: is this business you're going to acquire, do you have the skills to run it? You can acquire a business and then you have no skills to run it, it will still fail. All right? It will still fail. Running a business is not about capital. It's about skills. It is the skills that will build the business, not capital. Lots of people every year they lose money in businesses because they have no skills to run those businesses. That's why they lose the money every year. So, guys, I hope I've answered the question, Murua. Let's look at another question. I hope we have answered your question, Murua. Guys, tell me if you have answered that question. Somebody tell me in the comment. Our dear brother from Burundi, thank you so much to have you here. Thank you very much. Our friend from Burundi there. Troy says very impressive. Thank you very much, guys. Give me some comment. Let me get some motivation. Okay, fantastic, great, very good. Okay, thank you, guys. I see those comments. Louis, good to have you. Thank you very much, guys, for the. You're so kind, you guys. You're so kind. Thank you so much. Okay, great. All right, fantastic. All right, great. So, any question? Any question? There was a question about to do with state, but it wasn't clear. Okay, there was some question about real estate. Let me see. Yeah, it's about skills, Felix. It's about skills, you're right. Not capital. Okay, great. Okay, there's a company. The question here about okay, there's a question here. Okay, good. We have a question from Louis. She says, what are shares? And what are the best and recommended companies where you can buy your shares from? Okay, that's a very good question, people. That's a very good question. Very good question. Now let's answer it this way. Okay, let's answer this question this way. She says, what are shares and what is the best company where you can buy these shares from? So let's try and do this. So shares. All right. I think for a layman to understand what I can say that shares are like units. In short, these are like points. All right, these are like points that you have. So what normally happens here, what normally happens for shares is this. So shares are like points or units. The same one we do when you're going to invest into any trust. The shares are the units that you are given for buying a piece of a company. So let's say we have a company called SLPLC. Okay, we have a company called SLPLC. And then this company, in my company, I say I have maybe 10,000 shares. These are like 10, for a layman, let me just say 10,000 points. Then I say, for you to be able to get some, because for you to be able to get some money in my business, when I make profits, for me to pay you the money, you need to buy shares. So I can pay you according to the shares that you have. So for example, let's say 5 people come. We have Louis coming on board, all right? We have Troy coming on board, all right? And then we have Ashley coming on board. These 3 buy these points from my company. Louis buys 2,000. Louis buys 1,000 points. Troy buys, 2,000 points. Ashley buys 4,000 points. All right? So we have 4, 4, 8. So now let's say each one maybe spends, let's say 1 kwacha each. Okay? So 1 kwacha per point. That's just 1 kwacha per share. That means each one is now having how much in my company. This one is having now kwacha 1,000. Those points, when they're now worth how much? 2,000 kwacha. Those points are now worth how much? 4,000 kwacha. Okay? Because each point has got a price. So each share has got a price. Now, what happens is this. Let's say by the end of the year, all right, my company gains some value of some sort, all right, such that maybe I've made profit of 10 million, for example, or maybe I make profit of 100,000, for example, 100,000 profit. Okay, for example, 100,000. Great. So now here's the issue. So the people are so much happy. People are so much happy about my progress. They are showing interest in my company. I also want to come and buy points. I also want to come and buy points. So I say, okay, fine. If you're going to want to come and buy points in my company, this time around, you're going to give me 2 kwacha per point. All right. So now it's going to be 2 kwacha per point. What that means, it means that now Louis, who is having 1,000 points already in my company, now Louis has got something called a profit. Now we don't call it a profit. In financial terms, we call it capital gain. All right. We call it capital gain. So now that means Louis now has got some capital gain because now our points were worth 1 kwacha per point. Now they are worth 2 kwacha per point because a lot of people are interested. So now Louis has got cash now of how much? Of 1,000 points multiplied by 2 kwacha per point. She now has 2,000 kwacha. All right. So that means she has a capital gain of how much? Of 1,000 kwacha. This is like profit for a layman. In finance, we say capital gain. All right. So now here, this one now has got how much? Has got 4,000 here. The capital gain is 2,000 kwacha. This one has got 8,000 kwacha here. The capital gain is, of course, 4,000 kwacha. It's like profit. All right. That's how it works. Now, let's say now we want to share the profits. Okay. So now we can do this. We can say how many people have got points in our company. We've got Louis. So if we have a profit of 100,000, for example, this is just for a layman, we are going to say, how can we make Louis benefit from the profit? So depending on our policy, if we give you according to the shares you own or the points you own, we are going to say, okay, fine, Louis owns how many points? Louis owns 1,000 points in our company. So you're going to say 1,000, all right, over what is the total number of points in our company? We have 10,000 points in our company. Then we multiply this by how much? By 100,000 kwacha. So that we can know how much portion of that 100,000 is going to go to Louis. So we are simply going to say 1,000, we divide by 10,000, and then we multiply by 100,000. So what we have that Louis now has got 10,000 from that profit. So he's going to get, this is what we're going to call the dividend. So we are giving now Louis a 10,000. From that total, we can do the same for Ashley. We can simply now say, okay, fine, Ashley, she has how much? She has 2,000. So we're going to say 2,000 units over total units of 10,000. Then we multiply this one by how much? By 100,000 retained earnings. Then we multiply. So what's going to happen now? We are going to see that Ashley is going to have something like 20,000. Then we do the same, of course, for Troy is going to have something like 20,000. Ashley also will do the same. So that's how it works. So now the question is, which company would I suggest you go and buy shares from? I hope I've given you an idea of shares. These are just like points that you buy or units that you buy. When they gain value, you have what is called capital gain. All right. Sometimes they lose value. Say you buy these points, all right, and then you make losses during the year. So people now are no longer interested in your company. What that means, they will begin to withdraw from you. They don't want to buy from you. That means your value of those points that you have begins to go down. So you begin to lose the money. All right. So, and for shares, it's very risky because they are very, very volatile. All right. So, guys, I hope we have given you the basic idea. Okay. I hope we have answered that question, Louis. Okay, Louis says very insightful. So now, what company can I advise you to go and buy shares from? Now, that one, I'm not going to do it live here because it's not ethical for me to tell you go and buy shares in this company. All right. But if you can come in a private session, I can help you to look at the trends for each company. I can help you point out specific issues you have to look out for before you buy shares in a company. Okay, fine. Look for this, look out for that, look out for that. I can do that in a private session. But here, I can't say go and buy from that company. No. Of course, you have to look at the history of the company. All right. Look at the growth of the company. How are they growing over time? Some companies last year were still the same as they are today. Okay. Also look at the past dividends. So there are lots of things we can look at before we can advise you to go and buy. Stability is one of them. You want a company that is stable, but is growing. Because if you're not growing, you put your money there, you're going to lose your money. Like, for example, there are some companies right now that are going in courts, they are going through liquidation, don't want to buy shares in those companies. So I can help you analyze the trends in the back for you to be able to understand what to do. All right, fantastic. So it's good, guys, to have you. Thank you very much. Okay, great. It's good to know that. Okay, Louis says we have answered. Okay, fantastic, great. Okay, guys. So we have a few minutes before we hit 1 hour. This session is just for 1 hour only. We will not exceed 1 hour. So we have about 4 minutes before we go. Is there any other question that we can address in the remaining 4 minutes? Because this session is only for 1 hour. Why is teamwork so important in business? Why is teamwork so important in business? All right. That's Felix Simfkwe. Why is teamwork so important? Okay, so it says display your contact numbers. My contact number is on this same page. All right. My contact number is 0953 979798. That's the business line. You can send a WhatsApp message or you can simply inbox on the page. All right. So the contact number is 0953, all right, 979798. That's the contact number 0953 979798. You can do WhatsApp. So you can call or you can WhatsApp on that number. And we'll pick it up from there. Okay, fantastic. We can pick it up from there. So that's the contact number. So my Facebook page is that one there. Okay. If you want to find me on Facebook, that's my Facebook page there. You can simply go to Shadwick, the chartered accountant, and you can book an appointment there, and I'll be more than happy to bring it. So depending on the platform where you're watching me from, because we are live on also other platform at the same time, that's my page. And of course, that's my contact detail. All right, fantastic, great. Any other question, any contribution? What's your takeaway, people? And thank you for those who've shared. Thank you so much. You guys are so kind. Those who reacted, I'm very grateful. It's not everybody who is able to support the work that we do, but you guys have shown that better is possible and you've supported the work that we do. So thank you for supporting my work. I'm very grateful for those of you who are commenting, all those of you who are sharing, all those of you, all right, who are who are part of the program. Thank you very much. So what's your takeaway? Okay, what's your takeaway? Of course. So there's a final question, says, why is teamwork important? Teamwork is important because it saves you time. A teamwork is important for many reasons. For example, you're able to share skills. A teamwork is important because you're able to collaborate, you're able to share resources, you're able to share costs. It's important for many reasons. Because now, Felix, we are in a world where we have to collaborate more than compete. Collaboration is the new flex in town. All right. If you cannot collaborate with people, it will be difficult for you to grow. So teamwork makes a lot of sense in the environment where every day things are changing. So you have to work with somebody, you have to collaborate, you have to co-create, you have to associate, you have to build contacts. Teamwork becomes very important. When you're working as a team, it becomes easier to avoid mistakes. So teamwork is extremely important. All right, fantastic. So guys, I'm very grateful for joining me. We have hit 1 hour mark for our show. We are at 59 minutes now, and I want to say thank you very much, guys. If you want to know more, that's my Facebook page right there. Feel free to contact me at that number or to inbox me or simply to come through. Those of you who are watching this one later, please share it. Let me know your comments. Let me know your views. Let me know what you think about today's sessions. Remember, the point to go home with is not about capital, all right? It's about the skills. It is the skills. All right. Like that is what he's saying here. Capital and ideas are secondary in a successful business venture. Build a skill first. That's the take home I want you to go home with. Capital and ideas are secondary in a successful business venture. Build a skill first. The skills give you the capacity to spend the money. So thank you, people. Thank you so very much for joining me this afternoon. Thank you, Elvis. It's good to have you. Thank you very much for commenting, for sharing, and for reacting. It's not easy for people to stay with somebody for 1 hour for financial information. So thank you for making the right decision to be here. You know, you cannot be successful if you are consuming unnecessary information. Success starts with what you consume, what you put in your mind. That's very important. That's the first thing I did, even on my Facebook page. I don't just follow people unnecessarily. The Facebook page I follow, I make sure I learn something, not just following for fun. I don't do that because I don't want to have things that are not just on my timeline, flooding my timeline. I want only things that are meaningful timeline. So thank you for staying with me. May God bless you. May God fulfill you. May you find love, peace, and joy. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in another episode tomorrow at the same time. Bye bye, and see you tomorrow.